Hello, everyone, and welcome to Snap Take. This is Glazer of Snap Judgments, and today we're doing something slightly different. Traditionally, our Wednesday video has been the new card. I try and get you the best decks for the new card as soon as humanly possible. Well, I've moved, and now the new card releases sort of in the middle of the night, and I don't want to rush and give you half-baked information. So the information on the thing for steps will be Thursday's video. I will have the 4 very best decks for that card for you, guaranteed. Instead, what we're doing today is we're going to go over what I was able to pull together. Instead, as a special treat, I got the top 4 decks on the Infinite Leaderboard. That's right, decks rank 1 through 4 on the Infinite Leaderboard. We're going to count them down in this video. So if you want the best decks that are performing the best this season, this is the video for you. We're kicking it off with the deck that Dark Razor is playing at number 4. It is Ika's Sarah list. We'll go over what this is and how to play it throughout the video, and then we'll do the same thing for all of the top 4 decks. You can find Ika, the creator of this and so many other top lists, at twitch.tv/Ika_MTS. He is absolutely brilliant. This is played by Dark Razor, the number 1 player on the Infinite Leaderboard last season. 15-year-old Marvel Snap player, absolutely brilliant. Twitch.tv/Dark_Razor, prodigy in this game, currently rank 4. This deck only really needs Hitmonkey, so this is a really good budget option. We're in fact going to have 2 huge budget options within this top 4. Merlin or Mr. Fantastic can be Surge. You do need one of the 2. Gladiator can be Gwenpool, but you can try to run other powerful cards there. Gladiator's here as stats, so figure out what you could do for stats in that spot, and you should be reasonably effective. So Mr. Fantastic basically gives you a Gwenpool for 2, which means that we don't have to go out of our way to play the card Gwenpool in quite the same way we used to. Instead of trying to run Gwenpool and having to spend our turn 4, we play Mr. Fantastic on 2. Gwenpool really wants to hit Mysterio, and Mr. Fantastic hitting Mysterio once or twice does the same basic thing, while also giving you potential for discounts. Obviously, getting a cheaper Shang-Chi, a cheaper Enchantress, a cheaper Sarah, or just more power than would be expected from the +2, all of which are incredible. Mr. Fantastic is, in my opinion, right now, the best card in Marvel Snap. We have a control package in this list, as we often do in Sarah lists. In this case, we're running Shadow King, Shang Enchantress, Killmonger. Those are basically your cards that are trying to control the board, making sure that we can handle whatever the opponent is throwing at us. Decks right now, we have a lot of Victoria hand lists. Victoria hand lists, for anyone who doesn't know, are lists that are often running and relying a lot on demons and K Bishop's arrows. We have Killmonger for that. There's also a lot of Silver Surfer, a lot of green power style decks. Shadow King answers that. Should you run into something else that we need to run Enchantress or Shang for, we also have those as options. Now, once those cards are used, they're actually fairly useless, right? Once you've played your Shang, it's a dead card. Once you've played your Shadow King, it's a dead card. Merlin really helps with that. Merlin says instead of them being dead cards, what we have instead of that is we have the ability to turn them into either extra energy or more powerful cards. We also really want to lose priority in order to do this. And as we try to lose priority, we're going to be playing the card Invisible Woman, so that if we do manage to gain priority, we can still use our control cards in the way that we want. Invisible Woman also works really well with Hitmonkey, in that if they don't have Alioth or Cosmo, the Hitmonkey reveals and it will still count every card played on the last turn. That works especially well with Mysterio. You play Mysterio, Hitmonkey gets +6. Bishop gets +3. Those cards are a nice little combo. Mysterio is really good, obviously, when buffed by Mr. Fantastic, but if not, he's another great target for Merlin, another great way to get extra energy or turn those Mysterio clones into 3-drops. Gladiator is your extra power card. Sarah lets you play everything, and that's the deck. So this one has a 59% win rate, 175 games, and is rank 4. Turn 1 we pass. Turn 2 Fantastic over Merlin, and Merlin goes up if you don't have a 3-drop. You can play Merlin and then Fantastic and a 1 on turn 3 over Invisible Woman. Turn 3 Bishop over 2+1 or Gladiator, and you're sort of tossing up what to play 2+1 or Gladiator, pending what your opponent is playing. If you think they're playing Destroy, you probably want to go 2+1, for example. Turn 4, we're going 3+1 or 2+2. This is a very good Invisible Woman turn. If we played Bishop and we had Merlin out, or we got a great Mr. Fantastic play, we can happily go Gladiator to 1. Anything along those lines is fine. Turn 5, we want to play Sarah, who is our general snap condition in the deck. That's why her name is written in white. Over Invisible Woman +3, and the 3s you're looking for are Monkey or Killmonger. If Shang or Enchantress costs 3 and they're useful for you, please feel free to do that. If Mobius drops on turn 3, your Enchantress goes up in value and becomes your turn 4 play. Turn 6, we're looking for Hitmonkey, Mysterio, and Shangra Enchantress, but we're just sort of trying to combo off in whatever way we can. This deck puts up, honestly, massive power. It remains one of the best decks in Marvel Snap. Right now, this is a very, very good stuff shell. This is, in fact, our only good stuff shell within the top 4, and it is at number 4. Before we go forward, if you enjoy this type of content, we do at least 3 brand new decks every single day here on the channel. Please hit that sub button, help support the channel. In addition, we are giving away a Mr. Fantastic First Steps this week. All you have to do is sub, like, and leave a comment. I'll tell you what specific comment to leave later on this video. Next up, Sizer is back up to rank 3 using his move list. I know, you're shocked, Sizer and move. Sizer has been number 1 on the Infinite Leaderboard either 6 or 7 different times, and number 2 either 6 or 7 different times. He's an absolute monster in this game. Again, Dark Razor was number 1 last season. Sizer's been number 1 a ton of times. A lot of the best players are the best players season after season after season, showing their true skill and, honestly, a bit of how much they're willing to play and grind the leaderboard. Sizer is the king of move in Marvel Snap. Almost every major move deck in the game has come from Sizer throughout the history of the game. He has changed his move list, so it's worth taking a look at again. You can find Sizer streaming all the time at twitch.tv/Sizer2654, usually in the late afternoon, evening time, as he is a European player, lives in Austria. For this list, you need Madam Web and Topaz. Hellion and Mercury can be Aranya, Iron Fist, and Ghost Spider. Goliath can be Hulkling or Armor. Goliath is better than Armor right now. We had a quick moment where Armor was really good when Shadow King was unseen and Shang-Chi was everywhere, but Goliath stopped Shadow King and Armor does not, so that changes that. All right, so we have actually ditched all the 1-drops. We are not running any of this 1-drops. We're not running Doctor Strange. We are just running Human Torch in the 1-drop spot. Moving Human Torch a couple times is very easy in this list. What you fundamentally want to do is you want to play like a torch and a vulture, or a torch and a dagger onto Topaz into Madam Web. At that point, you use the cards like Cloak and cards like Hellion to move them one more time, and then either Heimdall moves them to make them huge, or you just move them and then Goliath wherever you think they're going to try and counter you. And that should just generally be enough power to win the game. It's completely wild how much power this deck puts up in that simple manner. Madam Web is your repeatable move. She is the best card of the deck. We are at an all-time low for Red Guardian, as the 3/2 has changed him from just being a card that's in every deck. You're actually not going to see him today. He used to be in almost every deck. Now he's barely even in Surfer. So Madam Web is now like at an all-time power level, unless you're seeing a lot of Mercury in your metagame. Dagger is obviously your your third move card. Torch and Vulture tend to be better, but Dagger is very good in this sort of mid-range heavy meta where people are playing a lot of cards. She ends up quite big. Mercury is here to counter other move decks, to counter your Werewolf, but also because you're running Cloak and you don't really want your opponent to move things you don't want to into your Cloak lane, and Mercury allows you to do that while also giving you an extra move card to put on top of Craven. Craven is huge. It's honestly often bigger than Dagger. Both Cloak and Hellion make Craven completely insane, as does Topaz. You stick that card in the middle, it often ends up like 15, 19 power, a lane-winning and game-winningly powerful card. Cloak or Hellion in the right turn on turn 5, on the right lane in turn 5 is your main plan for this list. If you can get either one of those going, and then you have 2 of your move cards, or Craven and 1 of your move cards, you should generally be able to win the game with Goliath or Heimdall. Cloak and Hellion are amazingly powerful for that. We don't want Cloak to backfire on us, so we have Cosmo, Mercury, and of course Goliath to protect that. Because Shadow King is everywhere, we have Goliath and Cosmo. Because Shang-Chi is everywhere, we have a Cosmo and Goliath. They fundamentally prevent the opponent from controlling your board. Topaz is an extra repeatable mover along with Madam Web. Throws things onto Craven, incredibly useful. And of course, then we have a Heimdall for the big last turn move. If you don't think they can control you, or you don't think they can predict where you're going to play your cards, you drop Heimdall. Don't be afraid to drop it on Cosmo for just big power at the end of the game. So rank 3, 164 games with a 64% win rate. Unfortunately, we don't have a win rate or games played for the number 1 or number 2 player, but we do for the number 4 and number 3. Turn 1 pass. Turn 2 Madam Web over Craven over Mercury or Dagger. Turn 3 Topaz over Vulture, Torch, or Dagger. And please note, Madam Web, if you don't think they have Red Guardian, or if you have Cosmos as snap, Craven and Topaz can be snaps. Keep an eye out on your hand and what's happening. Cosmo and Torch, or 2/2, or Vulture, so on Topaz or on Madam Web on turn 4. Turn 5, Cloak and Mercury, or Cosmo, or Cloak and Mercury or Cosmo, or Hellion on turn 5. Any of that works perfectly fine. And then turn 6, we're going Heimdall or Goliath, and from there, the game should be over. This deck puts up more power. You will have to learn to predict opponent's decks, but once you know your matchup spread, this is probably, in my opinion, the single strongest deck we're going to look at, although it is also by far, like exponentially, the hardest deck of the bunch to play. One last look at this beautiful list from our friend Sizer. If you take the time to learn Move, it remains the best, and because it's so hard to play, it's relatively nerf proof. Move very rarely gets nerfed outside of the dagger nerf several months ago because it's so hard to play. Its win rate never really merits it being nerfed, so you're relatively safe investing in this style of deck. Before we go forward, please check out a stream at twitch.tv/pulseglazer. I should be live around an hour or so after this video goes up, so if you're interested in checking it out, it would mean an awful lot if you stop by my first stream in Vietnam. Our season pass question is really simple. I got a new microphone. How's my new audio? Is it better than it was in yesterday's video? Do you not notice any difference? If you're a regular viewer, please do let me know. I need to know if I need to mess with the system some more. I spent a bunch of time messing with it. This video is being recorded like right frickin' before it goes live just because of that. Don't forget, as soon as the audio is settled, I will be starting the moving vlog. If you're interested, please make sure you're following youtube.com/@pulseglazer. And don't forget, I'll be live in around an hour. Next up, we have Jay Wallace, Cerebro 3. Jay Walla has been playing Cerebro 3 in the number 2 spot on the Infinite Leaderboard. This is probably the simplest deck we're going to talk about today because it is very linear, right? You should know just by counting whether you're going to win the game. You should know just by counting whether you can figure things out and pull wins. This is extremely consistent, straightforward, and powerful. You can Jay Walla. Jay Walla's using the 727 end his name. Rip to our friend Scotta. At the number 2 spot on the Infinite Leaderboard. This does not need a high series card. Gorgon and Jeff are great, but Baron Mordo, Scorpion, Cobra, Kate Bishop, Jennifer Kale. Pick a 2-3 for those spots. Really, really useful, right? Everything else here is Series 3 or lower. I told you we would have another budget version of a top tier deck, and you're looking at it right now. This is that list. All right, so Bast is here for specifically Luke Cage, Cerebro, and Mystique. Also, should any nonsense happen, Bast is just a useful card to have. It just gives you that extra, like, oh, I have a card I can destroy. Oh, I can get my Cerebro to be a 3/6. That kind of thing is very useful. Gorgon messes with the occasional opponent. Victoria Hand is extremely prominent. Gorgon absolutely wrecks that deck. Not like a snap condition, but it does make it significantly harder to play it. Jeff gets you into locations you couldn't otherwise get into, very useful. Scarlet Witch gets rid of locations, that would be a problem. Generally speaking, those are buff locations. Locations that would give you negatives are handled by Luke. Sentinel is a repeatable 3, which is obviously very useful, right? You get multiple 3s out of Sentinel, and those become 3 9s if you get Cerebro and Mystique. Cerebro with the +3 buff, copied ideally by Mystique, is one of the more powerful things to do in the game. Luke is your other protection. Scarlet Witch for high cost, Luke for low cost locations that give negative. Cosmo protects your Cerebro and Mystique, or stops your opponent. Juggernaut helps you win a lane on the cheap. Really, really great and hilarious for winning that Cerebro Mystique lane. Killmonger gets rid of ones. Again, please note that almost everywhere, all over the frickin' meta, is the Victoria handless, and Killmonger's great for that. And then Mobius stops a bunch of other nonsense that could otherwise go over the top of you in the metagame. That is the fundamental purpose and play of this deck. So again, this one is currently sitting at rank 2 on the Infinite Leaderboard. Turn 1 Bast, turn 2 Gorgon or Sentinel, turn 3 Mobius over other 3s. Remember that Mobius can be a snap condition if your opponent has played Ravonna or other things. If you have Mobius and you know they're playing that Sarah deck, you're so far ahead. Although obviously be careful of Enchantress. Turn 4, we want to go 2/2. This is a decent time to get Jeff down. This is a decent time to change location with Scarlet Witch and so on. Turn 5, we want to play another 2. Sentinel means we should have fundamentally infinite 2s, plus Cerebro. Turn 6, Mystique, and then we play a control card, Juggernaut, Cosmo, or Luke Cage. That's it. Super straightforward. Count, and you should win a lot of games of Marvel Snap. This one doesn't have the highest win rate. You do have to count. You do have to pay attention. You do have to know what you're doing. But once you get the hang of it, it's very easy to climb with this. Props to Jay Wallace for probably the highest ranked Cerebro at this point in the season ever. Before we go further, if my new schedule is not working out for you as far as streams go, I urge you to check out, please, the stream team. Some of our wonderful friends help us out by streaming all these very decks. Today is for you, I believe, Wednesday, so which means Game of Flash X will be on tonight between 9 and 10 p.m. Eastern, playing the top 4 decks in Marvel Snap. Tomorrow, we've got some more lists. Those are going to be our thing for steps list, and that will be the King of Canada streaming at about 12 noon Eastern. All right. Derek's to the Moon is currently the number one list. Derek is up like 600 snap points on number two. He's absolutely crushing with this Moon Girl Victoria hand list. It used to run Viper and I miss it, but now it has to run Shadow King because Shadow King is one of the very best cards in the game right now. When Shadow King is good, because Shadow King costs two, it becomes so oppressive. I was dominating with Destroy decks for basically the past week. I started playing earlier today, and all I saw was Shadow King in every game. And oh my God, is Destroy bad into Shadow King? This deck and card is just completely bonker strong right now. Derek is the winner of Golden Gauntlet 1, multiple time number one player on the Infinite Leaderboard. Our new player, props to Jay Wallace. Everyone else has been number one, and Jay Wallace is chilling at number two, his highest ever, first time in this rarefied air. This deck needs Victoria Hand, Nico, Frigga, and Misery. Those four are required. Gladiator can be Viper. Viper was actually Shadow King before Shadow King and really solid, just a little too expensive. Mr. Fantastic can be Surge. Worse, but fine. Iron Patriot can be Kate Bishop or Maria Hill. Kate is worse than Iron Patriot here, specifically because we want to Moon Girl and the arrows can get in our way. Hood is here. We have two ways to handle our negative from the hood. We can either use Nico to turn into a demon or use it to draw two, or we can use Misery to blow it up. Getting multiple demons from Moon Girl or from Frigga or from Nico, whatever, is one of the win conditions for this list. Obviously, be wary of Killmonger. You saw Killmonger in two other top four lists for obvious reasons. Nico is our extra control card for that hood. It can copy our Victoria hand for us to copy an extra demon. It can destroy a Iron Patriot or Mirage to give us some draw. Very powerful card. Quinjet makes things cheap. Quinjet is largely here for Moon Girl. It's good with Iron Patriot, good with Mirage, but it's largely here for Moon Girl. Getting that second Victoria hand for one, for example, is incredibly strong. Getting a second Gladiator for two is obviously incredibly strong. Quinjet's really good here. Mr. Fantastic helps us make things cheaper and gives more power. Those are both things we are in the market for here. It's really simple. It's just a good card to play. It's almost too good not to run in so many decks. Shadow King is our only control card, but the meta is full of great power, and it really makes this deck sing. If you get double Shadow King, especially if one is discounted by Quinjet, if you go double Shadow King, Victoria Hand toward the end of the game, you just won that game so often against so many meta decks right now. Iron Patriot gives us a bit of unpredictability, this extra large power spike on a card that we can still make cheap from our friend Quinjet from itself, from Moon Girl, all buffed by Victoria Hand. Really great card in this list. We also have the what I call the Burrs combo in this, which is where you play Hood on one or two. On turn three, you play Demon and Iron Patriot in that Hood lane, and then on turn four, you can play Misery, leaving you a 15 power lane on four, usually enough to win, giving you an extra Demon and a discounted Iron Patriot card and another Iron Patriot card for you to try and win. Mirage is just really good right now. 2/3 that gives that +2. Buffing Mirage and Misery is wild in the meta with Victoria Hand in the number one spot. Victoria Hand is incredible. We have three ways to copy it: Nico, Frigga, and Moon Girl. Double Victoria Hand is one of the more powerful things to do. Immune to the main tech card of the meta, Shadow King. Frigga is here for Victoria Hand. Don't be afraid to copy an Iron Patriot card or Demon, as the case may warrant. Gladiator is just big stats. We want something that stats that's not Victoria Hand, along with Misery, and Gladiator gives us that. Moon Girl, we're trying to copy Victoria Hands and Demons, generally speaking, along with Shadow King and Iron Patriot discounted cards. Again, all made cheaper by Quinjet. And of course, Misery gets rid of our Hood while also just being ridiculously good stats. Rank 1 right now. Turn 1, Hood or Quinjet. Turn 2, Hand Frigga over Fantastic over Mirage or Iron Patriot. You can just hold Victoria Hand just fine, especially if you have Moon Girl and she's in a good spot in your hand. Turn 3, Frigga over Gladiator. Don't be afraid to do the aforementioned Burrs combo. Turn 4, we have Moon Girl over Misery on Hood over a 2/2, and this is your last turn to play Iron Patriot and get that discount. If you are going to play Victoria Hand here, make sure she goes second so that you can Frigga her should you draw that on turn 5. Turn 5, we're trying to generate cards. This is a fine Moon Girl turn, a reasonable amount of the time. We can go Moon Girl and Quinjet. We can go Hand and Frigga, Hood and Misery, so on and so forth. Turn 6, our general goal is to play something like our last Victoria Hand, our extra Victoria Hand, our Demons, and Shadow King. This is the number one list in Marvel Snap right now. I don't know what to tell you. This is absolutely crushing. It is amazing into the meta that everyone is playing. Derek's brilliant as usual, and this is a list that you've probably seen. And if you haven't, time to start playing and getting used to. Question of the day is from Quid Pro Joe, who asked what character I'd like to see introduced into Marvel Snap and what their ability would be. So I want Sleepwalker, and I want Sleepwalker to be a summon card. I want Sleepwalker to be a card that when it's destroyed, it summons a random card. I think that really fits the character really well, where you play it, and if you destroy it, or if your opponent destroys it, it summons another random card. Probably like like a 2/3 that summons a random 3 or random 4 when destroyed would be a really, really cool card, and I'd love to see Sleepwalker with that ability. We have a Patreon at patreon.com/snapjudgments. Certain tiers of support on that Patreon come with on-air thanks. Saying thank you to our patron of the month, Jonesy Snap 22, who you should check out on YouTube, please. Our friend, the OG AG Abigail Giesland. Mandatory Burnout. How you doing, Burnout? It regardless is a word, damn it. LAB Inc. I am Frostman. Check him out on Twitch, please. Hota Navarrete, Prime Ryan of the Prime Mind app, Ryan Burke, Berkey, ooh, my son just sneezed, bless you, Ryan Woodsnap, Woody, Ren Wrench, and now it's K-Town, Gopher Kev, Keltor, Kertix Lee, Corey, Kazushi, and Archangel 3K. Look at K-Town rock. Black Dahlia, Profos, Goatsy, and Code are alliance leaders. Hi, Code. Thanks for chatting earlier. Hallowed, Synth, Reddick, Absolute Shannon, Nightmare, Dirty Casual, Dirty, Mr. Kerfuffle, Cables, Traveling the World, Gingy, Ginger Prime, Philly, Philip Rakovich, hopefully you're doing well, Philly, Haplo, What's happening? Kenny Loggins of the Danger Zone, The Bizza, notoriously here, with Black Jeebus 23, Extras V and Skippy G, Rhyming Friends, Ms. Jess Gamble, what's up, Jess? Mr. Slush Seth, the King of Bros Broke, The Great Kazoo, Werewolf O, Gibbs, Yoda Clam, Colonel Foreman, Real Name Town Time, Rosler and David G. Winkle, Stephen, Brian Kaufman, Tristan Martin, Jason Buck, Mr. Craig Sterry, and Matt V. Real Name Town is slightly smaller than it's been, but still kicking butt. Corbin, John Q, and Jimmy McHugh, Cute Town, Get Stout, 8th Sage, One Big Man, hope you're doing well. Milkman for Reels, Cactus, it's Cactus Jack, Reapzer, Stevo131, Yo Marco, Ted Bro, Good Bro Joe, look at all the O's, Snap Decisions Joe. Check out Snap Decisions podcast, please. Bickety Boom Bot, Brick Stew Click, Green Goblin, Unibot V2, check him out on YouTube. Oh, Ryan Wood Snap on YouTube too, if I didn't say that earlier. Flan56, Spectrumix, Hoot, Only Fox, no more Aku. Hopefully you're doing well, Aku, I miss you. Only Fox, Matt H. Matt H isn't a real name town. It's weird, right? DJ Mike Hitchings, no freaking flex. Nick, the Greek Geek, thanks for staying up late with me, buddy. Toxic Soul King, who stays up late every night for himself. Zadrex74, Nick, Toxie, and Zadrex are all on Twitch, as is the King of Canada, JJ, Canada! Dan Man Falcon on YouTube, Fafler Newman on YouTube and Twitch. Two Ties, who does in fact wear two ties. No longer the 5th of July. July is almost over. The great Lauren Medebs, Snap on this podcast, who helped me out in a huge way. Please check out our pod. The Pirate King Tucker, both Twitch and YouTube, and of course Gunny T, where the T stands for I am tired, but I'll still be live, hopefully about an hour after this video goes live. I'll see you then for some Twitching, and maybe I'll try to be on YouTube. I can't promise. But check out twitch.tv/PulseGlazer. Peace.